Hello class. So how are you? Fine. So I think on the last lecture you gone through and you understand the what is the sense of Raoult's law, what is the participation, what is the role of understanding of Raoult's law in uh, ideal and non-ideal solution. Last lecture also based on the numerical section, so try to learn all that and solve some more numerical based on the same topic. But today we'll try to start the important concept of the chapter that is called colligative properties. In this chapter there are four colligative properties, so one by one we will discuss the all four colligative properties, in which the first one is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. Students, it is very easy to learn. The colligative properties means actually the properties of the solution, all those properties of the solution which depends upon the number or amount of solute and independent of the nature of solute. The properties of the solution which only depends upon the number or amount of solute. For example, suppose we are having two different solution. Suppose we are having two different solution and one solution having 1 mole suppose glucose, and one solution having 1 mole suppose urea, 1 mole urea. In both the solution the nature of solutes are different now. In one is there glucose, then other is there urea. Natures is different but the amount of the solute is same, that is 1 mole glucose in the first solution, 1 mole urea in the second solution, and that's why the colligative properties expressed by both the solution will be same. Colligative property will not be different because the amount of solutes are same, 1 mole and 1 mole, and that is why I am asking it is the important properties of the solution which will only depend upon the amount of solutes. First, you have to be learn always whenever we are having a solvent, a pure solvent, and we are added some solute, especially actually solid solute, we are added suppose solid solute we are added. So solid solute is actually called non-volatile solute, and non-volatile solute is not participated in the evaporation process. So whatever the pressure, whatever the vapors you can see over the solution, that is only the vapor of the solvent, only the vapor of the liquid, because the solute is not participating in the process of evaporation. So that's why student, you can see here there is only a pure solvent present, only a one type of component is there. So this liquid easily get evaporated, and whatever the vapor pressure maintained over the liquid, that is the only because of the pure solvent. But when we added solid solute in the solvent to make a solution, that is non-volatile solid solute doesn't participate in the evaporation process, vaporization process, and that's why the vapor pressure, the observed vapor pressure decreased down. Observed vapor pressure decreased down because of the interfering of the solute particle. Actually, solute particle occupy the space over the liquid as well as in the liquid, which actually not participate in the process of evaporation, and that's why the vapor pressure decreases in the case of solution than solvent. So you can see here the vapor pressure of the solution, which you can write as P, and vapor pressure of the pure solvent, which you can write as P naught, must be greater. The P naught must be greater than P because the solute decrease. Whenever we added the solute, the vapor pressure decreases. So there is lowering of vapor pressure. and lowering of vapor pressure is observed because of the addition of solid solute. So you can say na the amount what the amount of vapor pressure decreased down, this is because of the solid solute added. So more amount of solid solute added, more amount of solid solute added, more vapor pressure decreased now. So lowering of vapor pressure must be directly proportional to the amount of the solid solute added, and amount of solid solute in the solution is actually called mole fraction, So let's start the one of the properties of the solution called relative lowering of vapor pressure. Suppose there is 2 mole fraction, the x1 is a mole fraction of solvent and x2 is the mole fraction of solute. So you know that the according to the formula, the P equal to actually P naught, the P equal to actually P naught into X, but you are knowing that the vapor pressure over the solution is actually always depend upon the mole fraction of the liquid, because whatever the vapor pressure is there, whatever the vapor pressure over the solution or over the solvent you can see, this is because of the process of evaporation of the liquid. So this is actually x1, so P equal to P naught into x1, you can write as P equal to P naught into x1, and you know that actually the lowering of vapor pressure, that is called actually delta P is actually P naught minus P naught. What amount of vapor pressure decreased down, this is the actually difference of P naught minus P, and in the place of P, you can write P naught into x1. So this can be solved easily. Class, are you ready? So this can be solved easily if you can put the P instead of P naught into x1. At the same time, you know that we are knowing x1 and x2, the sum of the mole fraction of any given solution is always unity. So x1 plus x2 equal to 1. You also can write as x1 equal to 1 minus x2. Because the vapor pressure decreased here, is actually equal to the mole fraction of solute. What amount of vapor pressure decreased down, this is actually depend upon the mole fraction of solute, because when we added the solid solute, then the vapor pressure decreased down. So vapor pressure, the relative lowering of vapor pressure is actually depend upon the mole fraction of the solute. So this is delta P is actually proportional to mole fraction of solute. So you can be written as this whole value is proportional to x2. Delta P is actually proportional to x2. So just solve this whole equation. And get me the what is the equation for the relative lowering of. So what you observe? You observe that delta P proportional to x2. This can be calculated on the basis of delta P, which is actually equal to the P naught minus P. You can put the value now. So the value will be P naught minus, instead of P you can write P naught into x1, P naught common, take a p naught as a common, then value will be 1 minus x1, and 1 minus x1 can be written as, sorry, where is 1 minus x2, it also can be written as x2 equal to 1 minus x1, x2 equal to 1 minus x1. So on the, instead of 1 minus x1, you can write as p naught into x2 delta p, or you can write as p naught minus p upon p naught equal to x2. So students, actually this is called lowering of vapor pressure. P naught minus p is actually called lowering of vapor pressure, and P naught minus so resume the topic. So the formula we getting, that is P naught minus p upon p naught equal to x2, where x2 is the mole fraction of non-volatile solute. But you are knowing the x2 can be also written as you are knowing that x2 can be written as n2 upon n1 plus n2. The mole fraction of solute is the number of moles of solute upon the total number of moles of solution. So it also can be written as on the basis of in the terms of molar mass and mass. So W2 upon M2 upon W1 upon M1 plus W2 upon M2, where W2 is a given mass or a mass of a solute, W1 is a given mass of a solvent, M1 is a given molar mass of solvent, and M2 is a molar mass of solute. So the same formula can be written as P naught minus P upon P naught. This is called relative lowering of vapor pressure, means what amount of vapor pressure decreased out of total vapor pressure initially was equal to the formula can be written as N2 upon N1 plus N2 equal to W2 upon M2 upon W1 upon M1 plus W2 upon M2. So the same formula can be written as, now the good thing is, if the solution is very dilute, so the condition can be changed for very dilute solution. Means the N1 is very large to N2, then the same formula can be written as P naught minus P upon P naught equal to N2 upon N1, because N1 plus N2, the N2 can be neglected here. So N1 plus N2 can be written as N1 plus N2 can be written as N1. So P naught minus P upon P naught equal to N2 upon N1, and this will applicable only for when the solution is very dilute. When the solution is very dilute, then this formula can be applicable. Fine. Then this formula can be applicable. Now, this is the whole formula for relative lowering of vapor pressure, where P naught minus P is called lowering of vapor pressure, P naught minus P upon P naught is called relative lowering of vapor pressure, and x2 is the mole fraction of solute. So P naught minus P upon P naught is always equal to the mole fraction of solute, which is always equal to the N2 upon N1 plus N2. In the case of dilute solution, when N1 is very large as compared to N2, then the formula can be modified in this way. Okay. So on there is some numerical based on this topic you can solve out. Okay. We'll solve some numerical in the given upcoming lectures. First we will conclude the sum of the colligative property, then we'll solve the sum of the numerical. Fine. Now I'm going to evaluate the formula for the second colligative property, that is called elevation of boiling point. Elevation of boiling point. So let's start the second colligative property. If you can, if want, then you can take a screenshot of the given lecture. Fine. Completed. So start the second property. Start the second property, that is called relative lowering of vapor. Elevation of boiling point. Elevation of boiling point. This is the one of the very important lecture of this chapter, elevation of boiling point, and many times in board they ask the numerical from the topic elevation of boiling point either or depression of freezing point. So that's why this is the very important topic. Elevation of boiling point. This is also called ebullioscopy. This is also called ebullioscopy. The one of the technical terms they are using, ebullioscopy. So elevation of boiling point. First, I need to ask what is called boiling point. What is the definition of boiling point? Any one of you who are watching this video this time, can you tell me what is the definition of proper definition of boiling point? I am just waiting for 3 seconds. Tick 1, tick 2, tick 3. Okay, fine. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you are knowing the definition of boiling point. Raise your hand. Not knowing. Fine. So no. This will not be answered. The boiling point is actually called the temperature at which the equilibrium vapor pressure of any given liquid attained the atmospheric pressure. I am repeating. The temperature at which the equilibrium vapor pressure of any given liquid attained atmospheric pressure is called boiling point of that given liquid. Note down this one. So I have a graph to show this. Suppose this is a temperature and this is a pressure. So pressure versus temperature graph, and suppose this is the atmospheric pressure that I am taking here, 1 atmosphere. A generalized value. Suppose the outer atmosphere is now 1 atmosphere. So as we increase the temperature, the pressure is actually increases. Fine. The pressure is actually increases. So students, you have to learn at any given temperature there is always some vapor pressure of any given liquid. So suppose at this temperature the liquid has this vapor pressure, this amount of vapor pressure. As we increase the temperature, the vapor pressure of a liquid increases. Vapor pressure of a liquid increases. So when the vapor pressure of a liquid attain the atmospheric pressure, means equal to the atmospheric pressure, this point is actually called the boiling temperature TB. This is called the boiling temperature TB. If this is a pure solvent, so I am writing here T naught B. The boiling temperature in a standard condition. This is a line of solvent. When we add a non-volatile solute in the given solvent, the vapor pressure decreases at the same temperature. In the last lecture, that was the discussion. Okay, fine. So suppose we just added some non-volatile solute in the given solvent, the vapor pressure will decreases. And now when we increase the temperature, the curve, we are getting, that curve is like this. So you can see when the vapor pressure decreases, the boiling point increases, because to equalize the vapor pressure of the atmospheric pressure, the liquid must be need a more temperature. The liquid must be need a more temperature to equalize to the outer atmosphere. To equalize to outer atmosphere. So this is called solution. Solution first. Solution first. We added a non-volatile solute. The vapor pressure of the liquid decreases, and when we attend the vapor pressure of the given solution liquid to the outer atmosphere, this will need some extra temperature, and this is called elevation of boiling point. Boiling point increases up. The boiling point increases up. So this is the first condition, and this is called the delta TB. Delta TB1. Delta TB1. If we further added some more non-volatile solute, in the given solution, the vapor pressure again decreases. And when vapor pressure again decreases, this will needs more temperature to equalize the outer atmosphere. So this is temperature T2. And this is called elevation of boiling point. This much elevation is there. There is delta TB1. This will be a delta TB2. So I am taking a two different condition. Now this is called P naught value. Means when the solvent attains the atmospheric pressure, that is called the vapor pressure of the liquid, P naught condition. This is the condition second. And this is the condition third. Suppose this is P1 and this is P2. So this value indicate delta P1 and delta P2. Delta P1 and delta P2. Delta P1, delta P2. So from this figure, just make some mark A, B. Suppose this is a C. Suppose this is a D, and suppose this is E. Suppose this is F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, fine. So from this figure, pressure versus temperature, actually we try to evaluate the relationship between pressure and temperature and what will be the effect of addition of non-volatile solute. You have to be learn from this graph, whenever we added a non-volatile solute, the sum of the vapor pressure decreases. That will need an extra amount of temperature to be boiled at a given atmospheric pressure, and that extra temperature is called elevation of boiling point. You can see in the first situation the elevation of boiling point is delta TB1. In the second situation, that is delta TB2. So delta TB1 equal to T1 minus TB T naught B, and delta TB2 equal to T2 minus TB naught. Okay, so you can calculate the value. The value of AF. The value of AF is delta P1, and value of where is the value? The value is actually what I got. I think that becomes some wrong word. The value should be here, na? the value should be some here. The graph line should be from here. The first line. Mark from the first line. Okay. So AF is actually equal to delta P1. AF is equal to delta P1 and AE equal to delta P2. AE actually equal to delta P2. So this is the whole value. You can see this is the whole value. On the basis of this figure, we are able to evaluate the formula of elevation of boiling point. The formula of elevation of boiling point. Let's suppose the curve seem to be straight. The curve seem to be straight. So if this curve seem to be straight, then in triangle ABF and ACE, ABF and ACE. ABF and ACE, the triangle ABF and ACE. This is a similar triangle. This is a similar triangle. There are similarities actually between the triangle ABF and ACE. So I am not proving the similarity, but you have to be assumed if these lines are straight, therefore the triangle ABF and ACE seem to be similar, and we are knowing when the triangles are similar, their respective the ratio of respective sides are actually equal. For example, the AB upon AC must be equal to the AF upon AE. If these triangles are similar, so their respective sides, the ratio of respective sides are actually equal to each other, and AB, the value of AB is delta TB1, and value of AC is actually delta TB2, which is equal to the AF, that is the delta P1 upon delta P2. Therefore delta TB is actually proportional to delta P. This is the first equation what we are getting from this graph, that is delta TB proportional to delta P. Delta TB proportional to delta P, and we are knowing the formula of delta P now from the Raoult's law. Delta P equal to some P naught minus P, P naught minus P. So let's try to solve that formula. Let's try to solve that formula. Okay, from Raoult's law we are knowing actually P naught minus P means relative of lowering vapor pressure. P naught minus P upon P naught equal to X2. This can be written as P naught minus P equal to P naught into X2. P naught minus P means delta P equal to P naught into X2. Suppose the solution is a dilute. Let us assume the solution is very dilute. So in this condition, the X2 will be N2 upon N1, and that will be W2 upon M2 and into N1 W1 upon M1. So M1 will be up. So formula will be like this. This can also be written as delta P equal to P naught, and I'm taking M1 outside. Into M1 into W2 upon M2 into W1. W2 upon M2 into W1. Actually, P0 is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent and M1 is the molar mass of a pure solvent. For any given solvent, these two terms always is constant, always constant. So delta P proportional to W2 upon M2 into W1. Delta P is proportional to W2 upon M2 into W1. So this formula can be written as, this whole formula, delta P proportional to W2 upon M2 into W1 for 1 kg of solvent. For 1 kg of solvent, the whole value will be delta P proportional to molarity. Equation second. The whole value will be molarity. Actually, this is the formula of molarity. This is the formula of molarity. You can see W2 upon M2 into W1. If this formula is for 1 kg of solvent, so that will be the formula of molarity. So this whole value can be written as delta P proportional to molarity. Delta P proportional to molarity, and here delta P proportional to delta TB also. So instead of delta P, we can write as molarity. Therefore equation first can be write as delta TB proportional to molarity, and when we remove the proportionality sign, we actually use one of the constant called Kb, ebullioscopic constant or molar elevation constant. This is the formula of elevation of boiling point. The elevation of boiling point is actually the product of elevation molar constant, molar elevation constant, also known as ebullioscopic constant, and molarity. I am actually evaluating the whole derive the formula from this graph. You have to be learn. I am just summarize the whole thing. From the graph, the pure solvent having a P0 vapor pressure, and when reached to the outer atmospheric pressure, that is called boiling point temperature. When we added a non-volatile solute, the vapor pressure decreases and solution needs extra temperature, that is called elevation of boiling point. When we added some more non-volatile solute, the vapor pressure decreases down. After then, it's need a more temperature to be boiled, so that is called elevation of boiling point second. If these curves seem to be assumed to be straight, these triangles should be similar, and on the basis of similar, their arms, the ratio of their arms must be equal to each other. On the basis of that, I am just putting the value and evaluating the first equation, delta TB proportional to delta P. From the equation, relative loading of vapor pressure, we are knowing P0 minus P upon P0 equal to X2, mole fraction of solute. So this can be written as P0 minus P upon P equal to P0 into X2. P0 is a vapor pressure of pure solvent. X2 in the case of very dilute condition can be written as N2 upon N1, and instead of N2 we can write as W2 upon M2. N1 can be written as W1 upon M1. So this whole value, I am just taking out the value of M1 because this is actually condition of solvent. So P0 and M1 is a constant value for any given solvent. So for delta P proportional to this whole value. And for 1 kg condition, so that delta P actually proportional to molarity, because this is the formula of molarity. So we can put the value of molarity, delta P relation in this equation first. So we'll get the delta TB proportional to molarity, and removing that proportionality sign, we'll get the value delta TB equal to Kb into M. Delta TB equal to Kb into M. This is the formula. The whole numerical, all the concept of numericals actually based on this value. Delta TB is called actually elevation temperature minus actual temperature of solvent. Kb is a molar elevation constant, also known as ebullioscopic constant. Molality is the formula W2 into 1000 upon M2 into W1. So Kb for water, for example, you have to learn that Kb for water is actually 0.52, okay, 0.52, and you can just take out the unit of Kb, because delta Tb means temperature Kelvin, molality means mole per kg. So you can calculate the formula, you can unit, you can take out the unit of Kb, what will be the unit, okay, fine. So next lecture will based on the some other colligative property. Two colligative properties are remain. We'll discuss about that also. Try to learn this whole derivation, because this is very important derivation. Is not given in the book. So you have to be very careful for this derivation. How I just getting the formula for elevation of boiling point. Try to solve some other concept numericals based on that. We'll try to solve me also. Okay, fine. Take out the screenshot. Okay, meet to a next lecture.